Hello, welcome to this episode of Martial Truth, my travels. Before we begin, a couple of things. Please, if you like the videos, if you like the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, consider becoming a member. Okay, it's a low monthly fee of $2.99. Channel slowly growing. We're closing on 13,000 members. We've passed the 100 member mark, membership mark. So yeah, think about it. There's merchandise that scrolls across the bottom of the videos. You can think about possibly purchasing some of that stuff. If there's other things else you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments or shoot me an email or a message. All right, appreciate everyone. Appreciate everyone that watches the videos. So I just got back from Cali, Colombia, where I attended a seminar, Gashuku, for the Okinawan Kobudo Kozokukai, which is an association dedicated to preserving Mariyoshi Kobudo. So I went there. We were supposed to have a teacher come in from Japan. Sadly, he canceled last minute. So myself and another sensei from France did the bulk of the teaching. I had a good time. Cali was fine. I never felt in danger there, although, some people said, oh, don't go there. It's a dangerous place to go. It's been my experience with traveling to many foreign countries that if you don't go to places you shouldn't go and you don't do things you shouldn't do, chances are you'll be pretty safe. All right. If you're doing things you shouldn't be doing in these countries, well, then you're going to probably expose yourself to some danger. And that's pretty much true of every country, okay? Every country I've ever been to, including my own, the United States, all right? So my travels in martial arts have been rather interesting, right? I mean, when I started back in 1979, if you had told me I would travel the world training and teaching martial arts, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. I mean, just that wasn't going to happen, okay? But now, all these years later, it's been amazing where the martial arts have led me and the places I've been able to go visit and the places I've been able to go teach. Started with initially, traveling within the United States, maybe to attend some seminars and different things like that, and then expanded from there. So initially, a lot of the travel was for me actually studying. When I first went to Okinawa back in 1990 or 91, one of the things Master Shimabuku told me was to seek out everyone that I thought might know something in Isshinryu and learn from them and take what was good. Take what they taught that I really liked and make that part of my Isshinryu. And if you saw things that you didn't like or you didn't think were very good, then you ignore that. And he even said to do that with him. He said, Michael, if you see things I do here in Okinawa you like, then take it, use it, all right? And if you see things you don't like, then don't do that. And make your own strong Isshinryu. So, when he told me that, I really decided to apply that to all my martial arts training and seek out quality instructors and everything. And, throughout the years, there's been hit and misses. There always is. But if you don't try, you won't know. All right. And again, when you make a mistake, it's incumbent upon you to kind of recognize it and fix it. So my initial travel was to Okinawa, and I went there to study with Master Shimabuku. I had left my first instructor and decided I want to have a direct relationship with him and cut out all the middleman nonsense. And I went to Okinawa. It was great. I trained there for several days and sightseeing. Master Shimabuku Sensei was nice enough to show me around the island and show me different things, and it was great. So again, here's someone traveling to Okinawa for the first time by himself. I had no one meeting me at the airport. I had a Japanese a friend whose mother made my hotel reservations. I just said, listen, the dojo is in this location, so I need a hotel near there. Just happened to work out perfect that the hotel that she made the reservation for me at was owned by one of Master Shimabuku's friends. It was within walking distance of the dojo. So the first time I went, I took a cab to the dojo, but wasn't open yet. The cab driver suggested I go back about 5 o'clock. And when I saw how close it was, I said, oh, I could just walk here. And that's what I did. I walked there. And it's interesting now, having gone to Okinawa several times and trained there, and several times in different dojo, and seeing the change in Okinawa, how Okinawa has changed dramatically from the first time I went. It's just amazing, and it's amazing to experience the different culture and everything else that I went. And it is different. Okinawa is different from mainland Japan. The Okinawans are different. I think they're a little more laid back. The Japanese are a little bit more harried, kind of like New Yorkers, where they're running around all the time. There's a lot of stress. Okay. So then I began. I got back from Okinawa, and I began already thinking about, well, when am I going to go back? And then I went back in '94. Okay, I believe it was '94. Brought a big group to Okinawa, about 13, 14 people, trained with Master Shimabukuro. Then we went to Fukuoka, Japan, the southernmost island, Kyushu, all right, to train in Sosui Shitsuru Jiu-Jitsu with the headmaster, Shitama Manzo. I had trained with him once before already in 1992. Okay, I traveled to Fukuoka by myself, trained directly with the headmaster for a few days. Then I took the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train, up to Tokyo to train in Jodo in Yoyogi with Shigehiro Matsumoto Sensei in his dojo, the Kobukan in Yoyogi, Tokyo, and tested for Shodan through the All Japan Kendo Federation Jodo division. So again, another interesting trip. Fukuoka, different from Tokyo, different from Okinawa. Was lucky enough, saw the Shofukuji Temple, which is one of the oldest Zen temples in Japan. It's right down the block, right down the street from the Sekirukan Dojo. The Sekirukan Dojo is another amazing dojo in terms of its look and the feel when you walk in. It's well over 100 years old. It has a ancient Japan feel when you're in there training. So again, a fantastic experience. There were no classes going on in Sosui Shitsuru at the time, so it was me and the headmaster training together. And it was great. I enjoyed it tremendously. Went up to Tokyo, arrived, rushed to the dojo, trained, settled in at my Rokon. For those of you that don't know what a Rokon is a Japanese inn, and it's more simple. Okay, sometimes they'll prepare you a meal or two. You could stay there. A lot of times it's run by an older couple. So it's if you want to be a little bit more immersed in the culture, it's a great place to stay. This time I had not made my arrangements. I was foolish and let someone else make my arrangements. And in those people making my arrangements, neglected to have a place for me to stay one night while I was in Tokyo. So I was like, okay, well, where am I going to stay? What am I going to do here, right? Luckily, one of the dojo sensei for Jodo offered to have me stay with him and his wife and his in-laws at their house. They had a fairly large house in Japan. So they were nice enough to put me up for the night. It was great. A couple of nights I stayed at that dojo in Yoyogi. Wasn't great. No hot water. Little cold. Okay. So again, not a great experience, but still an experience. And that's what I found with all my traveling, that there weren't always great experiences, but there were still experiences, and all experience teaches us things. All right. So, again, then in '94, traveled to Okinawa, went back to Fukuoka for jiu-jitsu, had a big group that time, and we were invited to participate in the Yamagasa Hakata Festival. The Yamagasa Hakata Festival, I'll post some video of it on the channel so you can check it out and see what it looks like. It's a very ancient religious rite. Had to do with, there was a pestilence, a plague in Japan, and the Zen monks and the priests, they blessed the crowd with water, and the pestilence left. So it's very old, this ceremony, very, very old, okay? And in it, you carry the yama, which weighs about 2,000 pounds. It's these big round logs, and you go in and wrap a rope around it, and you hold the rope tight, and you lift the llama on your shoulder. So at any one time, there's only about 24 guys carrying the llama. Do the math. It's pretty heavy. You're only lifting it a short amount off the ground, and you're taking steps, and you're trying to go. And it took place over, I think it was 9 days. So some days were involved races. One of the days we actually won, all right, which was a big deal, obviously. Initially, when we went, we had to go purchase our uniforms. So those encompassed a vest and also encompassed the same thing the sumo wear. So we were wearing the same thing the sumo wear as we were participating in this event over the 9 days. I had 3 of my students with me who also participated in the event. Initially, we were told by the elders in our group that we would not be allowed to carry, okay? That it was too dangerous, and it is dangerous to participate in this. It's dangerous, okay? You can get hurt easily. You got to be careful, pay attention to what's going on. But what happened was people out of carrying, the reason you have the rope is your legs can give out. Your legs just give out. And now you're being dragged by the other 23 guys. And there's spotters on the outside. And what they do is they go in and get you out safely so you don't get hurt. So what happened was the one guy, they got him out and they tapped me to go in to carry. So I ran in there, wrapped my rope around, lifted, and started carrying, right? Next thing you know, someone else drops out, and one of my other guys jumps in there. And now we're carrying. And so at the end of the day, we all get back, and the elder comes up. My shoulder's bleeding from carrying, rubbing the skin raw. And the elder comes up, he's probably in his 80s, and he slaps me on my shoulder where there's bleeding, and he says, the gaijin can carry. The gaijin can carry. So from not being allowed to carry, now they wanted us to carry, so we wound up carrying every day. And it was a great experience. I mean, it was incredibly exciting. I mean, crowds lined the streets. It was just fantastic. I mean, 2 of my nephews were there on the trip. They got to ride on the llama as we carried it. Other people would ride on the llama, various dignitaries. So it was a tremendous experience. And in the middle of it, I had dropped out after carrying. I was catching my breath, getting myself back. And a Japanese pulls up next to me jogging. And in English, with a Queen's accent, says, how's it going? And I did a double take and looked. I said, it's going great. How are you? He goes, good. And he extends his hand and says, I'm Don Yamamoto. I'm the Consul General for the United States here in Fukuoka. And what you guys are doing is great, because we'd been interviewed for national television. I could post that too. I have that on video. And he goes, this is great. What you guys are doing for relations between our countries is fantastic. He goes, I'd really like to have you guys to the consulate for dinner. Okay. So now we're invited by the Consul General, and we go over and we have a great dinner at the consulate. I was able to bring my jiu-jitsu sensei's mother and sister. They came to the dinner, and it was great. We had a great time. My students loved it. We were taken to meet the governor of Fukuoka. We had lunch with the governor. The kids on the trip got to sit in the governor's chair behind his desk. So it's interesting how the martial arts have led me to have some amazing experiences that aren't necessarily martial art related. So, going there, training in jiu-jitsu, I also got to participate in this amazing event, right? We got to do things and, experience things that other people don't get to experience. And it's fantastic. I was able to see my teacher's mother from jiu-jitsu. She took out the family scrolls that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. The Fukuoka Prefectural Museum had already had experts copy them, and they're on display in the museum. But she showed me the originals. I got to see how you prepare the food for the shogun when he comes to visit your prefecture. I got to see how after you've spent your 2 years in Edo, with the shogun as you come back to your prefecture, how your samurai are lined up, and these detailed drawings of how many men on foot, how many men on horseback, and all these different things. It's just amazing. So I feel like I've been blessed in that the martial arts, because of the martial arts, I've been allowed to see things and participate in things that a lot of other people haven't been able to participate in. So it's been fantastic. And, I was asked during that festival, one of the Japanese asked me, what's the best thing about the martial arts? I said, well, one of the best things has been all the people I've gotten to meet. I mean, I've met, people all over the world. And, some I've liked, some I haven't liked, okay? And I'm sure some haven't liked me, and that's okay. It's just the way it is, right? Human nature, right? So, I continued to go to Tokyo, trained in Jodo more, went to Fukuoka one more time with a group of students, also taught jiu-jitsu at a dojo up in Tokyo. I was invited by the sensei of that dojo to teach jiu-jitsu there, which I did. I've been lucky enough to go to the Metropolitan Tokyo Police Department twice. One time I got to train in Jodo with the Jodo instructors there. Actually, a second time I also got to train in Jodo. And then they were also curious about the handcuffing techniques I teach. So I demonstrated the handcuffing techniques on them. It was interesting because they were trying to resist and they saw that didn't work and I was still able to handcuff them. So again, interesting experience being able to go there and do that kind of stuff. It's not something everybody gets to do. I've had meetings with senior teachers of various martial arts. I have a very good friend in Japan, Imai Norio, who's, I believe he's Nanadan in Kendo. He speaks English, and he's my best friend in Japan, and he's enabled me to meet with people and visit people and have meetings with various senior teachers of various associations where I just got to sit and talk with them and talk martial arts, which is fantastic. So that's some of that. I've traveled all over the United States, both training and teaching. Some of the training experiences were great, some of them not so great. Examples of, I went to an event once for Matayoshi Kobudo. I was asked to come. They were trying to get senior people to come. I said, okay, I went, but I said, is the teacher from Okinawa, is he going to do just basics? And, the first side kata, bow kata, tunko kata, or is he going to do stuff also for the more senior practitioners? Oh, he's going to do, yeah. And then I go, and of course, what do? We do basics. And we do Nichozai, and, we do Shishinokun. We do the basic kata. And again, it was fine, but, what about the seniors? Like, why is everything, and I've experienced this a lot with especially teachers from Okinawa, where, they just keep things always basic, like it's the basic stuff. Okay, well, if I'm training in this art for 50 years, where is the more serious stuff? Like, am I just supposed to work on the basic stuff? No, there's serious stuff. Okay, well, let's do that. And I actually had someone approach me at that seminar and say to me, I wish you had taught the seminar, Sensei Calandra. It would have been a lot more interesting. We would have learned a lot more serious stuff. And, again, some teachers need to wake up and they need to realize whether you're Okinawan or Japanese. If you're just going to come and every time you teach, you're just going to show the same basic stuff, well, what's the point of me going? I can practice that in my dojo with my students. I have plenty of beginner students in my dojo that I practice basics with. So again, some experience on my travels haven't been as good, all right? I've also been lucky enough to now go to Sugino Sensei's dojo in Kawasaki several times and train in Katori Shinto-ryu, which has been amazing. I plan on hopefully going back there in 2025 and training with him again there. I'm lucky I go up to Canada pretty much every year and train with him there for 5 days, so that's fantastic. He's been to New York. I've done seminars all over the country. Everywhere. I'm not even going to begin to list them, but everywhere, okay? And I've done them in all different martial arts, So some people think of me as an Ishinru karate sensei, other people Kobudo, other people Taiji, other people Jodo. It all depends on who I went to teach for. The last several years, I've been going to South America. I've been to Chile, Argentina, and now Colombia to teach Kobudo. So it's interesting. It seems in South America, I'm mostly thought of as a Kobudo sensei. The association I just went down there for, the Okinawan Kobudo Kozokokai, I am the United States representative now for that association. It's an interesting association. It's set up to preserve Matayoshi Kobudo. Like myself, I wear the Kodokan patch. They don't care. Someone else from there wore a different patch. They don't care. They said it doesn't matter the patch you wear. It's the quality of your Kobudo. Refreshing. I wound up teaching. There was a sensei from France, Theory Sensei, excellent Kobudo. Had a great time with him. We really got along. We took turns teaching. We both discussed how he liked the way I did certain things and was thinking about trying to incorporate some of that. I liked the way he did certain things. So it was quite refreshing for an association where there were adults in the room and we could do maybe a move a little differently in kata and not be where it's got to be this way, it's 100%. No, where you could say, okay, yeah, so that's, if you like doing it that way, do it that way. I like doing it this way, so I'm going to do it this way. So again, not so much where everything has to be exactly the same. All the good teachers I've trained with have kind of felt like that, where if what you're doing is a little different, but your speed, your power, your ability, and you can show that works, they're fine with it. They're like, okay, that's a good way to do it too. So that was refreshing. If anybody is interested in becoming a member of the Kozokukai, if you train in Matayoshi Kobudo and you're kind of out there and don't have a group to be linked with, feel free to reach out for me. I can give you the information. It's kind of a little bit laid back. Its main goal is to preserve the Kobudo. I'll mention this. There's some of the kata are not practiced by the other Matayoshi Kobudo associations. So the problem is those kata are in danger of disappearing. We want to try to preserve the forms and preserve all the kata. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This year I'm going to Okinawa. 100% we'll be traveling to Okinawa. Just don't know when yet. Trying to figure it out. I'll be traveling to Pittsburgh for the Ishinru World Karate Association Championships in August. So if any of you are interested in the Ishinru World Karate Association Championships, you can go on the Ishinru World Karate Association Facebook page, and you'll see there's plenty of information there on a tournament with links to the tournament site. If you're an Ishinru practitioner and want to compete in that tournament, Master Shimabuku will be coming in from Okinawa, so I look forward to seeing him again. And so it's been an amazing 45 years of training and traveling. I mean, I've literally seen the world. I've been to India. I did a 3-city tour in India, okay, which was, again, an amazing experience. I've been to China, where I participated in a big Taiji event in China, where I taught a seminar in China. I taught knife defense in China. I also demonstrated with a bunch of Chinese masters. I was asked to participate in a master's demonstration where senior Chinese masters demonstrated, and I was asked to demonstrate too, so that was a tremendous honor. So again, I've had these amazing travel experiences, all because of the martial arts. And again, if you had told me all those years ago, I would have said, you're crazy. That'll never happen. And I've been everywhere, and I still continue to travel. I'm available for seminars. So if anyone wants to do a seminar, I'm available for them. And I do them on occasion. And I'll continue to travel myself. If a teacher comes in that I feel has something to offer, I will definitely go and travel and train with him and see what he's doing and stuff. And it's been important, and it's helped my teaching skills because, again, traveling to different countries, language barriers and everything else, it's really helped me to become, I think, a better instructor, all right, and to understand people a little bit more. So, So my travels, they've been great. They've been fantastic. I've enjoyed every second of it, and I will continue to enjoy it and continue to travel. And it's amazing the places the martial arts can lead you to. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Please click that like, subscribe button. All right, consider becoming a member. We'll be having some interviews coming up with Sensei Ross Smith and Andreas Quast, talking about the books they've published, and I'm sure many other things. So look forward to those. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.